Well, hello and welcome. My name is Kristin Kaufman, for those of y'all whom I've not had the opportunity to meet. And I am the CEO and founder of a company called Alignment, which is all about helping people create the lives they want, and specifically how to determine what it is they love to do, how to be great at it, and most importantly, how to have it tied to something greater than yourself. And when that happens, we are aligned and we are most certainly at our most powerful. So today I actually wanted to come on and offer up 3 tips on what I think actually makes a great leader. And I know leadership is a topic that we have all been weaned on for years and years, especially if we come out of the corporate arena, which I have. And we know what it's like to get lucky enough and fortunate enough to work for a really fabulous leader, one who inspires us, one who allows us and encourages us to make the most of whatever opportunity we are pursuing. And we've also worked with those leaders that honestly are not everything that we would hope for them to be. So I have actually 3 thoughts that I actually believe help me determine what kind of leader I wanted to be, because they were the leaders that I actually love to follow. And the first tip, or the first attribute that attracts me to leaders, whether it be in my new world or whether it be in my old world in corporate America, is positivity. No one wants to work for someone who is a negative Nelly. Everybody wants to work for and with someone who has that half full perspective, where we're looking for the bright side of things. And let's face it, I mean, I'm not into inauthentic Pollyannas. I really want to be around people that are real and authentic and call it like it is. However, we all know what it's like, even when you're facing some uphill obstacle, to work for a leader who sees the potential, who sees that it absolutely can be done. And that positivity, only if it's real, only if it's authentic, inspires us to achieve the same level of positivity. So that is the first attribute that really attracts me personally to leaders that I want to follow. And again, the operative word there, it has to be real, because Lord knows we've all been around people who fake positivity and they fake this happy-go-lucky, and yet we know underneath that there's a lot of insecurity, there's a lot of negativity. So that comes off empty. So we want it to be really real. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, obviously, we've all heard this before, is how to lead by example. And I love to follow people who do what they want me to do. So, we've heard the old adage about we never ask people to do things that we're not willing to do ourselves. But we've also worked for people who leave at 4:30 or 5 o'clock, and we're there, carting out the trash at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. And that does not inspire, and it certainly does not motivate. So the second attribute that I think is so vitally important for strong leaders is to do what we expect other people to do. And that can be a myriad of things. That could be making the hard calls. It could be putting in the long hours. It could be delivering the hard news. It could be having those difficult conversations. But whatever those things are that we're wanting other people to embrace and to do, we have to do it ourselves. And to expect anything less, frankly, we're not going to be a very authentic leader, and we're certainly not going to inspire those that we want to inspire. Okay, that's the second attribute. The third attribute, and this is one that I think we're hearing a lot about, frankly, in the news today, and it's all about being accountable. And, I've heard of late, the buck stops here. And, how many times have we worked for leaders when something really goes south and the first thing they do is to look for someone else to blame? And frankly, I ran from leaders like that because I always wanted my leader to have my back. And that's what leaders do. They make it safe. They make it not acceptable, but certainly okay if you make a mistake, because they're giving you that comfort and that ability to do things that are perhaps beyond what you think you can do. And if you fall short, at least you've stretched and you've grown. And at the end of the day, the leader ultimately will be accountable for that. And I know when I work for leaders, and my goodness, I worked for so many phenomenal leaders when I was in corporate. that absolutely had my back. And when I would stump my toe, or I would make a mistake, or I would say something that perhaps I wasn't to say, or I overstated what a solution would do, and I realized after the fact that I'd made a boo-boo, certainly they made it okay to admit that I'd made a mistake, because they were going to have my back even if I had made the mistake. So that is my third tip, and one that I think is so often overlooked, especially in times like this where everybody's running for cover, everybody's looking for a scapegoat or a fall guy. And what I will tell you is the leaders that have your back and that take accountability and truly do embrace the buck stops here, those are the leaders that I want to get on their bandwagon, and I will follow them to the ends of the earth. So those are my three tips again on the kind of leaders that I personally like to follow: those that have a authentic, positive attitude and approach everything with that half full perspective; those that lead by example, they do exactly what they want us to do, and they set the bar really high, and it helps me want to achieve that. And the third is that they absolutely are accountable, and the buck stops with them, and they make it safe for me to actually color outside the lines and to make a boo-boo, because I know they're going to have my back as long as my intentions are pure. So again, my name is Kristin Kaufman. I come on here every couple of days just to share perspectives that I have on leadership. I know that leadership is a topic that many people try to address, but not everybody has been in the real world. So having, chopped wood and carried water my entire career, I definitely have a good handle on the types of leaders that I want to follow and the ones that I think are most effective. So thank you so much for joining. If you would like to follow me, I will put my information below here on my YouTube channel, my blogs that I send out every couple of weeks that have input on leadership and how to be successful both in corporate and also as an entrepreneur. And certainly, if you would like to have more information on my consulting and coaching services, I would love nothing more than to share those with you. So with that, have a fabulous St. Patrick's Day. I've got on my green, so hopefully I won't be pinched, and make it a great week. And thank you so much for tuning in.